Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I cannot believe it's already this time of year. Every year I do a 3-part series called my Best of Beauty series, I guess. I start off with Drugstore, I do a high-end episode, and then I do an episode for hair, skin, and nails. So we're kicking it off with Drugstore products that I absolutely loved this year. I realized as I was putting these together that I was reusing quite a bit of products from last year. So in all of these videos, I try to choose the products that I discovered and used like crazy this year. I have some amazing things laying in front of me that I'm so excited to mention, and of course, everything will be listed and linked in the description box down below for you guys. Let's just get right into it. I know I'm going to be sitting here for a while because I film these videos back to back, so grab a snack, get ready, and we're going to be diving into my drugstore favorites of 2021. Oh my goodness, also I realized this video is going to be going up on the 25th, which is Christmas, so Merry Christmas to anyone who is celebrating today. I hope you guys know how much I love you, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you're enjoying your holiday season, and I hope you're staying safe and staying healthy. So yeah, I'm just extra excited that I have an upload day today because, I don't know, I just think it's a fun time to post a video. So I truly hope you guys are enjoying your day, and if you're watching this on the upload day, Merry Christmas! I hope you are all having a wonderful day. So yeah, let's just get right into my drugstore favorites for 2021. We're going to be starting off with brows. I have 2 drugstore brow products that I absolutely fell head over heels for this year. It's funny because they're similar products, but I use and love them both. I actually think I picked both of these products up because of you guys. I'll mention them together since they're the similar product. I have the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Pen and then the Milani Weekend Brow. These are both brow pens. I feel like the Milani Weekend Brow, I'll swatch this one. It's a little bit more of a deep color and it almost has a slightly thicker formula. So you can see that right here. By the way, you guys, ignore my nails. I totally meant to paint them earlier, but I did not have time before I had to sit down and film this, so this is like 5-day-old polish at this point, but that's okay. Anyway, the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Pencil, let me swatch it underneath. I accidentally swatched quite a bit. It's not this intimidating, but you can see it's a little bit more liquidy, and actually when you apply it to the brows, it's a little bit thinner, even though it looks darker here. Maybe the swatch wasn't that helpful, I don't know. This is what I have in my brows. It's all I'm wearing. I usually take the Milani and do the outside and do the NYX on the inside since it is a little bit lighter. I love both of them. I use both of them. And I really love too how you can brush through the brows with a spoolie and it softens everything. It's just, they're amazing. Both products are. Moving on to primers, I absolutely loved the Flower Beauty Supernova Celestial Priming Whip this year. It's funny because I feel like it's launched maybe last year. Or maybe even earlier, I don't know, but I love this product and I really loved it a lot this year. I'll show you, this texture is insane. You just give it a shake and then it's literally a mousse. How crazy is this? When you blend it out, I feel like there's a lot. A tiny bit goes a long way with this product. When you blend it out though, not only does it kind of dry down and smooth things out, it also smells amazing. It smells like lavender, but it makes your skin look so luminous. I don't know if you can see that. It's not a glittery luminosity. It's just this lit from within glow. It doesn't mess with like your foundations that you apply on top. It dries down really well. It's gorgeous. I love this stuff. And then also this year, I loved the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Perfector. You guys know I've been talking about this like crazy this year. I put this on all over the face before going into foundation today, and I just love it. It's supposed to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. While I feel like they're very similar, I don't know. I use them both like crazy, but this one has just a different experience because you have like the sponge on the top, and I don't know, it's just a little bit different to me, but you get a very similar effect. Regardless, it's gorgeous. It works great underneath makeup. Again, I'm wearing it all over the face, and I feel like it really contributed to the luminosity of my complexion today, so I love this stuff. It's gorgeous. For foundation, I feel like foundation was a category where I used a lot of products from last year's drugstore favorites video, which I'll have linked down below if you guys want to check that out, because I am still using so many of those products. However, there were 3 foundations that I tried this year that I just am obsessed with. The first one being, and I'm sure this is going to be in a lot of people's favorites videos if they're filming end of year favorites, but it's the L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. I wear the shade 0.5 to 2. I love this. I mixed this in with another foundation that I'm going to be talking about in my high-end video, and I loved how it looked mixed into that foundation on top of this product. It's beautiful. By the way, if you want to know what I'm wearing all over the face, I'll have a shop list link where you can see everything that I used, because I used both high-end and drugstore to create this look. But this is on my face. It's beautiful. I love the coverage that it gives. I love the versatility. I love that you can mix it into foundations or wear it alone. It's really beautiful. It has a nice luminosity to it, but it's not greasy, which I really appreciate. Like, it wears well on me, which I love. It's stunning. The next foundation that I'm obsessed with that I found this year, even though it's an older product, like everyone's tried it before, except for me, I feel like, it was the Bourgeois Healthy Mix Foundation. This is so beautiful. This became like my everyday foundation for a good chunk of the year, and I'm still reaching for it, but I was wearing it like consistently every single day for months. It's so beautiful. It really delivers what it describes, like being a healthy mix foundation. It just makes your skin look really healthy. I love the coverage. It's buildable, but I prefer to keep it more on the medium to light coverage side. I don't build it up too much. I'd rather use concealer for that. I just like how it looks that way, but it's so beautiful. I love this. I'm so glad I tried it, and it makes me want to try their serum version of this foundation as well. I haven't tried it yet, but this was an amazing discovery for me, even though it's been discovered already by so many people. On the more full coverage side, e.l.f.'s Camo CC Cream really took the cake for me this year. It works so well for me. A little bit goes a very long way. You're gonna have tons and tons of coverage, and it wears so beautifully on the skin. It's stunning. I wore this like crazy as well, and I know so many of you guys really loved it. It just really smooths out the skin. It looks beautiful. It's definitely more full coverage though, so if you're into that, I think you'd really enjoy this. Even though it's full coverage, it still feels lightweight. It's a really great product in my opinion, and I got so much use out of it this year. Okay, moving on to concealer. I fell in love with the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer this year. It's interesting because I loved the original Camo Concealer, and that was a winner in my book in last year's Best of Beauty video that I created, but the hydrating one really stood out to me this year. I started using that one pretty consistently at the beginning of the year, and I haven't looked back. It's so beautiful. I love how it's more hydrating underneath the eyes, but it still has longevity, which is great. I know so many of you guys really love this, and I do too, so I knew it had to be in this video. Another concealer that's very full coverage and a little bit more on the matte side. A little goes a long way, but it's so flawless, I can't even tell you. It's the Hailey's Beauty Rewind Concealer. This is the shade Fair Neutral, and it's actually what I'm wearing underneath the eyes and down the center of the face. You can see how much coverage it gives, but it feels so lightweight. It's got great ingredients in it. I love this. Like, it's so luxurious for a great price as well, and a little bit goes the longest way. You do not need much of this at all. Like, seriously, just use a tiny dot. You can always add more if you need more, but you don't need a lot with this concealer, and it's so beautiful under the eyes especially. This next concealer is one that I had just barely tried out, but it has become such a favorite of mine, and I was like, it has to go in my yearly favorites, even though it's pretty new to me. So it just goes to show you how good it is, because I don't really do that. I'm very picky. Like, I tried a ton of drugstore products this year, but I didn't put any in here. Even if they were good and I liked them, I didn't put anything in here that I wasn't reaching for like every single day. So this is that product, the newer one that I was telling you about. It's the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. It's stunning. I wear the shade Light, and it's beautiful underneath the eyes. I love how hydrating it is under the eyes, but it doesn't crease or separate or look like too heavy under the eyes either. It's really nice. It's got a beautiful formula. It has an interesting pump packaging, which some people might not like, because you do have to pump it on your hand before applying it or onto your fingertip instead of using a wand or something, but I haven't been bothered by that. I really enjoy the formula, and I knew it had to be in this video because it's just so beautiful under the eyes, great for every day, great for dry under eyes. It's just really nice. All right, moving on to powder. I discovered another old product this year. I don't know what took me so long to try it out. It's the Rcma, the original No Color powder. I love this. I think it looks great underneath the eyes, all over the face. It's just such a good foolproof powder. It's not too heavy, but it's not super lightweight. Like, it still feels like you really set your makeup, but it still melts into the liquid products underneath. It's beautiful. I do not know what took me so long to try this. I also discovered the Pixi H2O Skin Veil Translucent Powder. This became such a staple for my under eyes this year. It's got a lot more of like a finely milled texture to it. I haven't yet found a product from the drugstore that does what this does, at least in this way. I really love how this looks underneath the eyes, so I wanted to make sure to put this in here because it's something different. It's something that really stood out to me, and it's something that I love, and I really love especially something that sets the concealer without looking or feeling too heavy, and that's this for me. I was looking back at my previous videos and I couldn't believe that I hadn't put this in a yearly favorites video yet. It's the number 7 Lift and Illuminate Triple Action Translucent Finishing Powder in the shade Light. I love this stuff. This is something that I started using religiously because of you guys. I discovered it, actually had it for a while, but I learned that it's a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Powder underneath the eyes, and so I started using it like crazy. I'm actually wearing it under the eyes as well. It just brightens, it smooths, it's so beautiful. I think this powder really holds its own, and it really does compare to the Charlotte Tilbury one. Both are beautiful. I use them both, but if you're wanting something a little bit more affordable, it's going to give you a very similar effect. This is where it's at. I love this one for brightening. It does smooth things out. I feel like the Charlotte Tilbury one is a little bit more smoothing if I'm being super picky, but they're both great and this is amazing. It's been a staple in my routine this year. I'm obsessed. Okay, so I only had one bronzer that I was like floored by from the drugstore this year, and I'm sure you guys know what I'm going to talk about. If you've watched my videos at all this year, I've used it like crazy. It's the Juvia's Place Bronzed Bronze palette in the shade Light. This is a bronzer duo palette. I'm obsessed with this. I love how there's 2 different colors so you can mix and match. If I've got self-tanner on, I can use a little bit of a warmer, deeper color. I mostly use this one. I'm actually wearing this bronzer all over and I love it. I love the tone. I love the texture. I love that it's buildable because I can be heavy-handed with my products. So this was a home run for me this year. I used it like crazy and it really like competed with all my high-end products. I traveled with this. Like, it's amazing. If you haven't tried this yet, you definitely should. I think it's one of the best bronzers I've ever tried from the drugstore. For blush, I had a blush discovery earlier this year. I used this like crazy, mostly in the spring and summertime. This is not a new blush by any means, I'm pretty sure anyway. It's from Milani. It's their rose powder blush in the shade Coral Cove. This coral color in the summertime and the springtime was everything. I loved that it could like liven up the apples of the cheeks a little bit, and that's what I used it for the most. I would use like a deeper color toward the back of the cheeks and then kind of just put a little bit of a pop on the center of the face. It's so pretty. I love this. Actually, let me put some on for you so you can see. I know it's probably not going to match everything that I have going on here, but I'm just going to put it on like the apples of the cheeks right here just to kind of brighten things up a bit. I love using this layered on top of other blushes. So yeah, you can kind of see how it gives that warmth to the skin. It's especially amazing during spring and summer, like I said, but I'm so happy that I found this and discovered this shade this year, even though I love Milani and I love so many Milani products. This is one that I hadn't tried yet and I was so happy that I found it this year. For highlighter, I only have one highlight as well. I really feel like I reused so many of like my tried and true drugstore products this year, like my Essence highlighter, my Catrice highlighter, like all the highlights that I talked about last year, my Honest Beauty highlighter. Like I have so many that I love, and even Colourpop, but not like new ones. I don't know. I feel like I tried so many different drugstore products, but you know, only one per category for bronzer, blush, and highlight really stuck this year. So my highlighter that I'm like obsessed with though, it's phenomenal. It's the Flower Beauty Day Glow Highlighting Glaze. I've got this on the skin right now on top of another highlight that I'll talk about in my next episode, but this is so beautiful. I love to use this with a sponge, just lightly press into the pan, tap it on the back of your hand to make sure it's even, and then gently kind of like press and roll over top of the highest points of the face. It's beautiful. It's heaven sent. I love it. I love how it just elevates any look. It makes it look very expensive, very dewy, but It doesn't lift up the makeup underneath. You have to be careful though with your sponge, but if you're gentle enough, it should not move anything underneath. It's beautiful. Moving on to mascara. This is a mascara that I fell in love with this year, even though I had tried it before, like last year. The Flower Beauty Warrior Princess Mascara. This took me by surprise, honestly. Like I said, I have used this before, but I was filming some content for Flower Beauty, I believe, like earlier this year. And I used this in my video and I was like, wait a second, like this is a really good mascara. So I started to use it off camera more and more and more. And then I was like, okay, this is a really good, affordable mascara. I love this. The wand on this is kind of similar to the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. It's one of those brushes that gives you volume and length. So if you're into the L'Oreal Lash Paradise vibe, you're gonna really enjoy this. I'm so picky with mascaras. This one does not smudge or flake on me. It's really good, and I feel like it also holds the curl and lifts my lashes a bit as well. It's really amazing. Technically, I mentioned this last year, and I told myself that I wouldn't repeat products, but I have to because this was my most worn drugstore mascara this year, so it wouldn't be fair if I didn't put it in here, I feel like. The Maybelline Lash Sensational, I didn't stop wearing it this year. I'm wearing it on my lower lash line today. I love it on both the top and bottom lashes though. I love this for every day. I feel like this was my go-to everyday mascara this year, so I had to give it a little shout out again. I'm still obsessed with it, and I couldn't ignore the fact that I used this the most out of my entire drugstore collection. So that's that. I had to mention that again. Okay, we're moving on to lips. Let's talk about lip liner. Two lip liner shades that I fell so head over heels in love with this year are from NYX. I discovered other shades last year, which I'm still loving, but these by far were my favorites this year. So we have the shade Nude Beige, which is actually the one that I'm wearing all over the lips. Let me swatch this for you so you can see. Nude Beige is like just the most perfect nude beige color. I love it. It looks great with like any eye look. And then I also discovered the shade Mauve. Now, these are not new products either. They've been around for a long time, I'm pretty sure. But Mauve is the perfect mauve. I feel like they're named exactly what they are. Both are phenomenal. I love them both. I love this NYX formula. I want to try every single shade one day. Like, I just want to keep collecting the ones that I feel like I'm inspired by and see if I can find any more gems. But Nude Beige and Mauve are so good. I also wanted to mention, and I better check and see if this is still available because it might not be. And I'm still mentioning like a couple of limited edition products or things that aren't around for now in my next episode, because like you'll see when I post my high-end video what I'm talking about. Let me check on this one. Okay, so it's still available and it's on sale for $5 right now. That's really great. It's the Colourpop and Barbie collaboration. This is the Golden Beach lip kit. So it comes with a lip liner and a lipstick. This is one of the most beautiful nude lip liners and lipsticks I've ever seen. It's got a really nice, almost pink undertone, but it's very muted. I love this. I think it's so nice. So here is that lip liner. See how soft that is? It's beautiful. And then the lipstick is stunning as well. I thought they did the most beautiful job with this lip duo. I love how this has a little bit more of a cool tone to it and this is more warm toned. So they're not matchy-matchy. I think it gives a little bit more shape and contour because of that. You can have that more like cool tone on the edge and then that pop of like a peachy nude in the center. It's so pretty. I love it. So I had to mention it in this video. That's it for lip liners. So we're gonna move into lipstick. I couldn't not put this in here. This is the Viral Milani lipstick, but the shade Secret is so good. I wore this like crazy. It is a newer product to me, but I don't even care because I wore it so much. And I'm still wearing it. So here's Secret right here. This reminds me very much of the Charlotte Tilbury Very Victoria lipstick. And it's a little bit like Pillow Talk as well, but it leans more toward Very Victoria in my opinion. Regardless, it's got a nice moussey matte finish. It's so pretty and the color is so flattering. Oh, there's a fluff. Yeah, the color is so flattering though, and it's gonna be something that you can wear all year round. This whole range is really nice. I only mentioned, like I said, the products that I didn't stop wearing, and this is that. Like I wore the other shades here and there, but this is the one that I grabbed every single day. Another lipstick that I absolutely loved this year was also from Flower Beauty. This is their moisturizing lipstick in the shade Blush Rose. It's got this beautiful mauve undertone, and let me see, I'll swatch it on the opposite side. The difference is this one's got a lot more shine to it. It's gonna be something that's very hydrating, so keep that in mind. It's nothing like the Milani one that's more matte. You can really build this up if you want to, or you can do more of a sheer layer. So there it is built up. You can see it gets more hydrated and more like shiny the more you layer it. But this color is so beautiful. I love the mauve undertone. If you're into slightly more cool toned mauve-y lips, you should definitely check that shade out. I love it. I also fell so in love with the Colourpop Fresh Kiss lip creams. These, or is it lip creme? I don't know. These are so good. They're so good. These are the 4 shades that I use the most, but I would have to say I dipped into these two the most, which is 411 and BB Spice. So I'll swatch these two since they're my most worn. With a darker lip liner on the outside, these look so luxurious. I don't know. I love how comfortable these are. They wear beautifully all day. So here's BB Spice right there. You can see I have a taste when it comes to lip tones. And then the 411 color is also really pretty. I sometimes layer these lighter shades on top of one of the deeper ones so that I have a little bit more dimension. But this one is 411, which is more peachy and a little bit lighter. So really good formula. Don't sleep on those. They feel so luxurious and high-end, and they are Colourpop, so they're great. I also really loved the Maybelline Lifter glosses this year. My top 2 shades at the moment are the shade Moon, which is supposed to be a dupe for Fenty's Fussy, and I would have to agree, it's so similar. These are so beautiful. They're very shiny, but you don't feel like they're sticky. I also love the packaging. I just think they're one of the best glosses at the drugstore right now. So here's that one. You can see it's got a really nice sheen to it. I love that. Then I also discovered the shade Petal, which has a little bit more pigment to it. It's not quite as sheer, but I love this as well. It has a little bit of a shimmer to it, but you can't really see it. It's mostly just a very pigmented gloss. This one I really love on its own if you're wanting more of a bold looking lip, but you don't want to layer up 3 different products. You can throw this on and it will color your lips, it'll give you shine and hydrate it, and then you could use a lip liner as well since it is a little deeper, but those were the shades that I really love this year. They have some new shades that I'm wanting to try, but those are such amazing ones. Another product that I love, another lip product, is also from Flower Beauty, the Flower Beauty Color Shift Lip Smoothie. Oh, this is so beautiful. I love how it tints your lips, so it kind of leaves a stain. You can kind of see it here. Let me see. I gotta put this somewhere. I'll just do a little dollop. You can see it right there. So it's got a hot pink tint to it, but when you blend it out, it's much more sheer and it actually will stain your lips a nice bright pink color, which I think is so pretty if you're into that. I know some people are not, but I definitely am. I'm just gonna wipe this off so it doesn't stain my hand, but you can kind of see on my tissue too, it's tinting pink. Very similar to the Dior tints, but I mean, different formula, obviously, but similar effect as far as like that pH shifting pink vibe. And then I love the balminess of this. It's very comfortable. It's great for every day. So really wanted to mention that as well. So those are all the swatches. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe these off before I get it on my shirt. All right, next up we're gonna talk about lashes and tools. I wanted to give a shout out to the Kiss Look So Natural lash trios. I discovered these because of Makeup by Kellyanne over on Instagram. I'll have her Instagram link down below. I'm wearing these on the outside of the lashes and I just love them. It's a trio so you can pop them on pretty quickly, but they're also very fluffy. I love it with looks like this where it's a little bit more glamorous, but I want my lashes to look a little bit more lifted on the corners. I just add them to the corners. I did 2 mediums and a short today. They're so nice and I love the fluffiness. I love how quick it is because it's like 3-in-1 because it's a trio. So I've been loving these like crazy. I don't wear lashes a ton, but when I do, I've been using those a lot. Moving into tools, I wanted to mention the Hailey's Beauty Kabuki brush. This is such a gorgeous brush for blending out foundation. I used it today. I love the rounded tip. I just feel like it really buffs super, super well, and I've been using it like crazy. So I wanted to make sure to mention that brush. In addition to the brush, I'm obsessed with the Hailey's Beauty sponge. It's what I use to blend everything out today. I love this. It's one of the best sponges out there, and so I wanted to make sure to put it in here too. It's so soft. It just blends things out beautifully. I love this. And then brush brushes that I'm just so in love with. These are probably my most used brushes this year, ever since they launched anyway. The Morphe and Makeup by Ariel brush set. If you've been contemplating picking these up, don't contemplate anymore. Like, I'm telling you, you won't need another brush set. Of course, I love and use so many other brushes. This is what I do for a living, so I enjoy trying out brushes. But for anyone who is into makeup and you need a good set, or even if you're a makeup artist, the way that these are shaped, the thought that went behind these really shows. They're different than anything else that I own, so even if you're someone who has a lot of brushes, and maybe you think you won't need another brush set, I still think you would use it. That's how I felt. Like, I have so many brushes, you guys, but this set is amazing. I mean, for this brush alone, this is the A14 brush, the most phenomenal under eye powder brush to ever exist. I mean, I would buy this set 10 times more just for this brush alone. I had to put it in here. It's one of the best brush sets I've ever tried, honestly. It's hard for me to find a brush set where I'm like obsessed with every single brush and I use every single brush, and that's this for me. I love it. I almost forgot to mention the setting spray that I love, and that is the Neutrogena Hydrating Setting Spray. It's the Hydro Boost Spray. I applied it all over the face. It's one of the best setting sprays I've ever discovered at the drugstore. I think it's so nice. It has a really nice fine mist, and it's just beautiful. It hydrates the face, but it doesn't leave you feeling too hydrated, you know? I feel like it really does something, like it plumps the skin. It's just really nice. I love it. I wanted to make sure to note, I didn't have an eyeshadow palette, you guys, or an eyeliner this year that I was like obsessed with and dipping into all the time from the drugstore, and you'll see why. I mean, the high-end palettes that launched this year just won my heart over, so I have actually like a lot of high-end palettes, and it's not that I didn't enjoy some of the drugstore palettes that I tried out this year, they just didn't stick like the high-end ones did. So I guess that's, you know, bound to happen. Every year might be a little different, but I don't have one that I'm like, this was amazing from the drugstore. Maybe it means I needed to try a little bit more that launched this year. I felt like I still did. But anyway, feel free to leave in the comments if there is a product from any category, but especially a drugstore eyeshadow palette that you're like, this is amazing. Leave that in the comments down below and I will, you know, try it out for you guys, because I think I need to like discover more eyeshadow palettes that are affordable. There were so many good ones, like I said, but just nothing that really stuck for me. So that completes this video. That completes my Best of Beauty drugstore episode. I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave a comment down below letting me know what your favorite drugstore product was from the year. What did you discover? What launched that you loved? It can be an older product or a brand new product. Let me know what you loved this year from the drugstore. I can't wait to read through your comments. And stay tuned for episode 2 where I'm going to be discussing my high-end favorites. I have so many phenomenal products, like amazing products that I discovered in the high-end category as well. All of these drugstore products compete with my high-end stuff though. Like, it's good. Like, these products that I talked about today are so good. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it kind of excites you and inspires you to maybe try something new next time you're at Walmart or Target, because these products really are worth it. So if you're new here, hi, my name is Allie and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber, if you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. That's it for me today. I hope you guys have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye.